All right, here's what we're going to do today. I'm at a spot that I have found quite a few Indian head pennies. I'm not sure what was going on here because there's not a lot of like household junk. It's mostly just pennies. But there is an older colonial era home nearby that we're going to hit. So we're going to hit the penny spot and we're going to hit the colonial spot. And on top of that, there's actually some Civil War relics here. Because there was a little battle not too far away and I have found bullets. I got my big shovel today because there is a bottle dump here that I've worked on pretty hard that we may dig if we don't find anything. I'm also using the vortex today because I want to see if we can find any more of those pennies or any more buttons or whatever at the colonial site. I've hit this pretty hard over the years. Haven't been here yet this year, but I come every year. I wish it was just a little bit later in the season because it's still pretty green out here. We've had some pretty good frost, so I thought all the leaves would be gone. And by the way, I'm sitting in a pawpaw patch. Most of the smaller trees around me are actually pawpaws, but they're out of season right now. So let's go ahead and get started, see if we can find some Indian head pennies. The neat thing about it is that they're normally in really good shape. So that's good. A lot of times when you find them in fields, they're all corroded. But these come out a pretty green and you can almost always easily read the date. All right, you ready? Oh, one more thing. There's tons of junk in here from, I guess they're hunting camps or whatever. There's some 55-gallon drums, old metal ones, and areas where there's a lot of melted aluminum where I guess they burn their beer cans or whatever in the campfire. So we're going to dig some of that, but I'm going to try to really concentrate on those Indian head pennies, which have a really high squeak. All right. Let's get at it. A nice little target here. Reading pretty good. I mean, it could be junk. You never know in here, but... Oh no. I think whatever it was on the surface and it's not very big. Alright, see what we can do. All right. Oh, that's it. Right there. Oh, sweet. That is a piece of melted, I guess it's not melted. That's probably a really messed up fired Civil War bullet. You see a pretty big groove right there. It's bigger than a normal groove on a modern bullet, but you know, I can't tell 100%. I suspect that's going to be Civil War era. So we have a really sweet signal right there. Hopefully it's something good, but it could be right on the surface. It's really loud. All tangled up here. All right. Is that it? Yep. Okay. What do we have here? We have, that actually looks like melted lead. So it could be that they were camped right here. All right. Good sign for sure. So check this thing out. I just kicked it out of the leaves. And I don't know what it is. If it's like a little medallion. It's got two loops on the top. It's a really pretty little piece though. It looks pretty old. I'm gonna wipe it off here on my pants. There could be some type of weird attachment. It probably is because it's not as decorative on the back. Ah, where'd it go? So yeah, I don't know what that is. If you guys know, let me know. I don't know why there'd be two loops right there. But anyway, I wanted to show you this too. Let's put this away real quick. Kick this oyster shell out of the leaves when I was digging that. This is evidence of one of two things in this area. Oyster shells aren't natural here because we're way inland, but they used to eat these in the colonial era, so we find a lot in colonial era homes and then a lot in Civil War camps because the Yankees really liked oysters and they were able to transport them up here very easily. So normally when we find oysters around here, we're looking at something that's from like the 1700s maybe up until the Civil War. Pretty cool, huh? I think we got a good signal here. It's almost, it's really big, I think, or at least it's, we're looking at a piece of brick. Oh, that might be it right there, maybe. Yep, that's it. That is a piece of heavy duty brass. It looks like there could be some design on it. I have no idea what that would go to. Maybe a big bell, I don't know. It's pretty cool looking though. I also saw a brick go flying by. That's a brick, so that's an indication of the old house that was here. Just dug a big old bone. Too big for it to be human. But it was probably, although I don't see where it was cut for like a stew bone, it's all broken apart. It's an old one for sure, but I don't know what kind of animal it would have gone to, but I just definitely know it's not human. Hey, check this out. This is pretty cool. This looks like a big old, I bet that's maybe a pocket knife. It's a brassy though, or a wheel weight. A modern wheel weight. I don't know. It probably, yeah. Well, I don't know. Looks like it's got a little bit of iron right here. This is 100% brass, so it's not a wheel weight. I mean, wheel weights are made out of lead. Give it a little bit of rub down. Well, let's put on my boots. If you rub the pants too much, it you wear a hole in them faster. All right, not sure what that is. Brassy. It's got a little bit of a groove right here. That's rounded on the top, so I think it's fairly old. I have a really nice signal here. I don't know if that's going to be it, that white thing. It could be a Civil War bullet. I have not even tested it with a pinpointer. Nope, that is a weird looking big old piece of aluminum that is melted. This is probably a beer can or a soda can that was in a campfire. And it melted, and these sound really good. I know it's aluminum, but they sound really high on the machine, just like a coin sometimes. That's 100% what that is. I have a nice little target in here. Can you hear it? It wasn't too deep though, so I'm not extremely hopeful, but it sounds really good. Oh no, it's probably a piece of aluminum. See it right there? So what we're going to do is pick it up and see how heavy it is. So it looks like lead almost, but it's too light for lead. So that's just a piece of aluminum, probably from a campfire. So I won't show you too many of these, but this is a shotgun shell base. They call it a shotgun brass, and they sound moderately well. I mean, they don't ring as high as a bullet, but they'll ring as high as like an eagle button sometimes. So if you're in a good Civil War camp, you always want to dig these signals. Now, if you're in a place where there's nothing but shotgun shells, you can skip over them and just go for the high tones. I have a nice high squeaker in my hand. I'm hoping it's going to be a coin. Oh, it is! Look at that! We have a small coin. Probably going to be an Indian head, because that's pretty much all I find out here. Is it? Yeah, there's a wreath in the back. A lot of times they come out really nice in here. Is that a flying eagle? No. Alright, so this is definitely 100% an Indian head penny. You can see the headdress of the feathers. I think we'll get a date off that pretty easily. And it says 1 cent on the back. That's going to clean up pretty nice. Got a really high squeaker here. But it seems like it's kind of big. Oh yeah, that's why. Seemed like it was kind of big for a penny, but had about the right numbers. Clorox. So that's an old bleach cap. I won't show you any more of these, but I am digging a few pull tabs, which, you know, you almost have to dig when you're looking for nickels and buttons and stuff like that, because they can sound pretty close to a nickel. So I just found a nice green Coke bottle. It's a little bit worn, but I don't see any chips or anything. It's from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, so I'll go ahead and keep that. Yeah, that's a nice little bottle right there. Well, I just found a modern penny, and I can tell that right off the bat because you can see how it's got some rot on the edges. So it tells me that's a zinc penny. If you look really close, you can see Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Well, there goes the little serpent. Go along, buddy. Here's a wonderful copper pipe. I don't know how old that might be. Probably not too terribly, but it sounded good, that's for sure. Well, I have a coin in my hand now. I'm pretty sure it's a coin. That's as much as I've ever seen of it, so hopefully it's a coin and it's an old one, maybe an Indian head. All right, you ready? Don't know yet. Probably an Indian head. Yeah, there's a 1 cent and a wreath on the back with a little shield above it. So this is definitely 100% an Indian head, penny or cent. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and it's got a nice little date on it. Every once in a while, I get a comment in my videos where people say, "Hey, Chig, that's not a penny, it's a cent." And I'm going to tell you something, because I suspect a lot of those are coming from like the UK. it does say 1 cent, but Americans call them pennies. I guess old habits don't die easy. But yeah, so that's a Indian head penny, 1 cent. Now this thing gave a halfway decent signal. I don't know what it is. If it's just aluminum junk or something really cool. You know, I think that's just some type of weird aluminum junk. What do you think? Yeah, look, I think it's folded. Oh, what is it? It's kind of weird in that it's got that those little metal things sticking out of it. Thought maybe it would have a name on it. I don't know. Is that aluminum or silver? I don't know what that is. It looks like it might be decoration of some kind. It's pretty thin though. But yeah, that was definitely attached to the back at some type of hook. What do you think? This had me stumped for a minute, but I think it's actually a fired bullet. That looks like the base right there is deformed. There's a groove right there. I can't tell if it has little vertical slashes in it, and if it does have that, it's post Civil War. But yeah, it's pretty heavy. I know it's definitely lead. We're gonna go ahead and head on out of here. We did find a couple cents. What I said that Americans call them pennies, I guess what I should have said is that we call them pennies most of the time. Sometimes we call them cents. Like we'll say, I have 6 cents, meaning you see ghosts, or that you have 6 pennies in your pocket. All right, we'll see you on the next one, I hope. Have a good one.
She'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for